Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities like we normally do. I'll step through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'm going to interject my financial opinions as we go. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com, where I dive deeper into these sectors and individual companies looking for undervalued opportunities for investments. So let's dive in. Let's see what's going on today, and I can share my opinions. We've got the DXY here, and again, I still think that this has a good probability or chance to roll over and still go lower. And what I'm looking at and how I'm determining that is the larger selling pressure move, and this is kind of basically like a flag pattern. And a lot of the times, that is a continuation pattern to go lower. I'm also figuring that yields could do something very similar to what I'm seeing here as a setup on the DXY. The DXY is a relative strength indicator, basically, of the dollar versus other currencies. And it is highly tied to yields. So yields, the 2-year yield, we are still underneath resistance. We've got a 2-day move lower out of that resistance, or out of that pattern, I should say. A lot of the times it comes back for a retest, which I think it's doing, and then I usually see a rollover or a move lower in yields. That means that people could be running into bonds, the 2-year yield, where yields drop. That's what I'm expecting to occur here with a 60-70% chance of probability, something like that. We've got the 10-year yield doing something very similar in that circle there, strong sell-off with a weak bounce into a bearish engulfing pattern today. That is also part of a larger pattern, which could be an inverted flag pattern that we break out and break lower with yields. We do have support underneath us that we still have to break through if we're going to pop out of that. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a potential new trend that could develop here, and if this support can hold or not. Looking at the 30-year yield, it's doing the same setup, and that is a bearish engulfing. It looks like it wants to go lower, but we are still above a lot of support. So we could bounce sideways for a little while before working our way lower if it decides to go in that direction, and we still have the big flag pattern and the potential breakout to the downside if it all does break down. TYX-TNX ratio, if those yields start to break down, I would expect the 2-year or the 10-year to go down faster than the 30-year. The 30-year is a little bit more anchored. This would uninvert the curve, and that's when gold goes up. Gold went up from that circle up. Gold went up from the circle up. And then we peak out, gold goes sideways, and that's when oil and gas really start to take off again. But it doesn't mean that oil and gas can't take off at some other position like down here. I'm just stating that's generally what occurred in history. Bond prices up a little bit today with those yields going down, and it still looks like we've got momentum going to the upside at this time. The 2 and 10-year yield still inverting, which means the 10-year went down more than the 2-year. So we inverted even further today, and we remain elevated at an inverted state so far. Gold, although yields were down today and the dollar was sideways, gold is consolidating to some degree today. This is a 5-minute chart to show you that consolidation. 1 hump, 2 hump, 3rd hump. We broke out of the consolidation. We've done our retest here. And to me, this looks like it could potentially go higher in the very short term. Now, I will say this. As you get into these really short-term market movements, they seem to be less reliable than the big picture fundamental stuff that we chart. So that was just up here at that wick. I mean, that's what I was just charting there. Overall, momentum's to the upside. It looks pretty good. We have come up to a little bit of resistance there going across, and we'll see if we can break tomorrow on the shorter time frame here and see if we can get some momentum to the upside. We also had a similar situation here, another similar situation here. It's basically flag patterns, and what I call this is stair-stepping patterns. So that stair step is still intact, as you can see here. Okay, going on to silver. Silver has broken kind of a bigger pattern view. This is the big resistance here, and we've broken out to the upside of that. Momentum's to the upside. So if we dive in deep towards the shorter end here, you get these kind of consolidation periods. I took this fractal here, I blew it up a little bit and kind of tried to overlay it. Is this just a continuation pattern that we've seen before in all these, stair-stepping continuation patterns over and over and over and over? Very well could be. And these stair-stepping patterns look very similar in terms of their fractals. You can see that fractal is very similar on how you want to line this thing up. Did not do a good job there of lining that up. But the fractals are all pretty much the same, and it just goes over and over and over and over. So we'll see if that's a continuation pattern or not, and if we get a break maybe tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. This is a 30-minute chart. It's really zoomed in there. And there's that stair step that you see going up with these small little sideways moves. Platinum, we're up. We've broken out, and we're doing that retest thing that we like to do. We did a little bit of a retest here. We bounced off that retest using it as support. And then palladium down slightly today, but looks like we're trying to bottom, is what I'll say there. And we're on top of a big pattern support level, and we're just using that as support at the moment. XAU to gold ratio down slightly, but you know what? It's not a huge move lower. I think the momentum is still good. We are still working our way on up where gold and silver mining companies are outperforming gold. We've broken the downtrend line. To me, everything looks intact, and we're still at very low valuations. I would still be looking for opportunities in the gold and silver mining space to accumulate based off of what I've seen so far. And again, this is absolute bullish for the gold and silver mining companies to break this downtrend here. And what it doesn't mean that we are going to go up every single day. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to have big pullbacks, like sharp corrective pullbacks over a day or two, which is very possible. What this means is that the big trend is broke. It's basically breaking, and when that breaks down, we could see a good outperformance of gold and silver mining companies in relationship to gold, which we basically have not seen since the 80s. We have not seen a drastic move. Maybe here, you could say maybe that's a decent move here from 92 all the way till 96. That arguably could be an argument there. But most of these other times, we've been basically going lower where gold and silver mining companies have been underperforming gold. I'm telling you that shift is occurring here in front of our eyes. And the ones that are early in this transition will benefit the most. There will be patience that's required because sometimes they start out slow and then they really start to build over time. The CRB index moving sideways today. Just a small little update. We've got the CRB to S&P 500 also kind of just tracking sideways. So not much action in terms of price movement going on with the CRB index or the S&P 500. But we're still in that flag pattern. GDX slightly lower today. Just a small little candlestick. Nothing really to worry about. I've got really nothing much to say. It's much like that candlestick. Still momentum's going up. And that is across the board for GDXJ. GDXJ, we're up against a resistance level that we're trying to break through. We could loop around, very well possible, in the junior companies. And when we break these horizontal lines, that's when we get a move in. That's when we get moving big. CLJ also down slightly today, just like the rest, and it's not a reversal candlestick or anything. Still looks fine. Crude oil slightly lower today, but again, we've got support here. That's what these wicks are at the bottom there. See all those wicks? People are buying it up. They buy it up, buy it up, buy it up, and we'll see if we can get some momentum to the upside. It might take some time. Just be patient. It's working its way through some stuff right now. TTF gas up 3.5. Actually looks pretty good. Looks like we're breaking out, looking pretty good. We've got natural gas in America. That's already been running. A little bit of a down day, not a reversal candlestick, but just a down day today. Looking to the left, we do have a lot of buying and selling pressure through this entire region here. So we're trying to get through some resistance. We've got XOP. Yeah, you know me. Little bit of selling pressure today, and I still think it looks fantastic. It looks like almost like a 3-hump consolidation. We've broken out of the downtrend line and doing a little bit of a return move today potentially. Maybe tomorrow, maybe we fill it, touch the trend line, or maybe not. We'll see. But it still looks good. We squeezed up into the corner here. You can see that this selling pressure is getting smaller and smaller. We've broken out. We'll probably do that retest and then work our way on up. That is the neckline of a larger inverted head and shoulders. So pretty bullish here. We're just kind of waiting for crude oil to get its butt moving. OIH, the energy service companies, down slightly. Is this an inverted head and shoulders? Kind of looks like it. And we've broken the neckline. So it looks like the equities of energy look pretty good. Just kind of waiting for crude oil to engage. We need Maverick to get back and engage here, guys. Where's our boy Maverick? He's flying around doing circles with Biden, releasing gasoline reserves is what I've seen. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust up 1%. That's got that funky looking pattern that I see a lot of the times. Maybe we can get a breakout here. Above 31.5, 32. 32, a close of 32 would be a pretty good indication that we've broken out of this downward move is what I'll say. URA, small little down day today, but still looks good. It's not a reversal candlestick or anything. Just be patient. We've broken out of this pattern here, so URNM doing the same type of thing. We got that cool little funky pattern that we've broken to the upside, and maybe the equities are getting jiggy with it before the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. So maybe the physical will eventually follow where the equities have already gone. And then URNJ is also broken out already too. I'm very interested to see if the juniors start to outperform the larger senior companies because that's when the bull market really, it really rips, guys. It really takes off. And this is what I'm using. I'm using URNJ versus URNM. We're right underneath a strong resistance. This could break at any time. Are we going to break immediately? I don't know. That's a question mark that I just drew in there. I'm looking for this break. I'm watching like a hawk, and I'm already positioned. So let's get this thing riding here, guys. It's rip. TAN working its way on up a little bit. Looking like we're putting in a bullish engulfing. Could potentially head higher here, right underneath resistance. Lower yields, sideways dollar today. We've got copper up a little bit. It does look like a little bit of momentum is slowing down. We'll see if that actually materializes in a pullback or a consolidation. But that's what we're seeing, some wicks at the top, a little bit of the opening and closing prices, which is this little sideways wicks. That's what those mean. And that's momentum kind of equaling at buying and selling pressure. But again, momentum still to the upside, and we'll see if we get any sort of slowdown. So the momentum's still to the upside, though. COPX down a little bit. It's not a reversal candlestick. Momentum still to the upside. We've got lithium down a little bit underneath this resistance area. And again, we've got that funky looking pattern here, much like uranium, that wants to break to the upside. We've got REMX also down a little bit. It's that same pattern that we're seeing, and that one's broken to the upside. Rare earths have a real low area, and it's got a nice big bullish engulfing. on the monthly candlestick. So I'm looking for a potential move higher in rare earths. SPX up still. There's that funky pattern that we're seeing all over the place. And this looks good. We are continuing higher, and it is moving on up for the Biden elections. We've got NASDAQ also moving up, broken through that resistance level, and still looks good to move on higher at whatever rate it feels like it needs to move at. There's that pattern again that's broken up. Russell 2000 up against some resistance here. We'll see if we can punch through. That's what I'll say there. We've got regional banks, zooming in on the regional banks, right at support. We got support underneath us. We'll see if that holds. We've got kind of a double bottom. You know, this actually doesn't look that bad. This is a double bottom here. You draw it across, and then this is your kind of consolidation back, and a lot of the times we break out from that. Lower yields could push this higher, so we'll watch that. Emerging markets likes lower yields, lower dollar, but this looks like it's good, breaking on out. We were down today a little bit, but it's not reversal candlestick, so I remain bullish. XHB, small selling pressure today, down 0.13. Bigger picture view still looks bullish to me. There's that kind of pattern that we've seen, and then the breakout, and we've been running higher. So still looks good, and I would expect this to maybe perhaps run higher with lower yields, lower dollar. Mortgage rates and affordability, think of it that way, and we have very tight markets still. MOO, slightly lower, but still looks good. We're sitting on support, and I still think that this is going to roll on up. We've got steel up a little bit, and again, I think this looks fantastic for a move higher. It's just been consolidating here, and we've got a little bottoming pattern going on, so it looks good to go on up. Nickel sideways, but again, I think this looks fantastic for a potential move higher. Still looks good. Aluminum's up 3.4 or 3.5%. We'll just round it. There it is today. Big move today. Looks good. And it's broken out of that flag pattern. Baltic Dry Index up a little bit. And we're just chilling here on support underneath us. Newcastle Coal also, I think this will work its way on up. We've got a break of this downtrend line. Sometimes they go sideways for a little while before breaking to the upside. And it looks like that's what it's doing. Bitcoin, that is broken out of its flag pattern. We do have a little bit of selling pressure today, but I'm going to remain bullish and say it's going to go up until I see otherwise. Ethereum doing the same thing. We've broken out of this consolidation pattern here, and this is the dead period, and we have broken out. So I'm going to remain bullish until I see a reversal candlestick pattern on it. SMCI still looks good. This is just a big flag pattern that can continue higher. Still looks good. And then NVIDIA also trying to break out here. There's that cool pattern that I've been looking, and we are starting to break or turtle head above this. We want to see a punch through if you want this to go higher. I've got no skin in this game, but I'm just watching it, seeing what's going on. But that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. We still have that discount coupon code, MAYDAY, M-A-Y-D-A-Y, one word, is the coupon code. If you want a discount, 50% off the monthly membership just for the first month to try it out. And you can also sign up for the yearly membership with much larger discount there than the monthly. But that's what I've got for today, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow. This is Finding Value.